Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Blaise of Sebaste. Saint Blaise is also known as the patron saint of throat illnesses and animal lovers. He was born around the 3rd century in the ancient city of Sebaste, which is now modern-day Turkey. From his early age, he was known to be very calm and gentle and very compassionate. Unlike any other children who loved to play, he found comfort in prayer and silence, which made him a unique child. In his young life, he studied medicine and became a physician, not just for physical healing, but also for spiritual. As he healed the sick, he often prayed with them, reminding them that faith was as important as medicine. His kindness spread like light throughout Sebaste, and soon he was loved not only as a doctor but as a spiritual guide. It wasn't long before Blaise's quiet faith turned into a bold devotion. He embraced Christianity, which at that time was still illegal in the Roman Empire. Despite the dangers, he practiced his faith openly. One day, the bishop of Sebastia died, and the people chose him to take his place. As a bishop, he led the Christian community with prayer, service, and compassion. But trouble soon followed. As a new wave of Christian persecution spread across the empire under Emperor Licinius, Christians executed for their beliefs. When Saint Blaise realized the danger, he withdrew to a cave in the mountains to pray and to protect himself and others. It's in that cave that some of the most beautiful stories about Saint Blaise were born. Legend says the animals of the forest would gather around him each night, not to harm, but to be healed. Animals like birds, wolves, and even bears came to him, sensing his gentleness, and he would embrace them to get cured. One day some pagan hunters found him in the cave and reported him to the Roman authorities. Then soldiers came and he surrendered peacefully without resistance. On his way to prison, another miracle story happened. A desperate mother approached him. Her young son was choking to death on a fishbone. Saint Blaise paused, blessed the boy, and prayed. Miraculously, the boy coughed up the bone and was saved. This event became one of his most well-known miracles, and to this day, Saint Blaise is invoked as the patron saint of any throat illnesses. In his prison, he was often tortured and offered freedom if he would renounce his faith, but he refused and promised never to betray God. Then he was beaten, his body was torn with iron combs, and finally was beheaded. He died in the year 316 at the age of around 40 years old. After his death, his followers gather around his tomb and miraculous healings happen specially to throat-related illnesses. Later a church was built in his honor, and it is called the Church of St. Blaise in Dubrovnik in Croatia, where a relic of his body was placed inside the church. Today he is venerated as the patron saint of throat illnesses and animal lovers. His feast day is celebrated on February 3rd, when priests bless the faithful by placing crossed candles on their throats as a prayer for healing and protection of any throat illnesses. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.